Well, cheers.
Cheers.
And welcome to the Chamber, Tea with the Chamber podcast. I'm Jeanine McKenna.
I'm Rebecca Herrera, Membership Director here at the Chamber.
And once again, we would like to thank our anonymous donor. This could not be possible without that person stepping up and helping us support our new podcast.
Yes. So, LeLan, Jeanine likes tea.
Yeah.
And I like the tea. You know what that tea means?
The dish, the latest news.
There you go.
Hottest topics.
Yeah, so what hot topics do you have for us today?
Well, there's a number of things, but one of the things I definitely wanted to highlight today was our Visit Emporia pledge.
Okay.
So the pledge, at the heart of it, it's a public affirmation of our commitment to sustainable tourism. And that sounds like a mouthful. So what does that really mean? Well, we wanted to create an opportunity to first and foremost acknowledge that commitment. We wanted to show that we are committed to our social responsibility. We know one of the biggest assets this community has from a tourism perspective is the community members themselves. We hear it time and time again at the big events, the Unbound Gravel, the disc golf tournaments. When big crowds come to town, they always say the people are amazing. So when we talk about social responsibility, it's a two-way street. We're asking our local residents to keep being the wonderful people that you are. Keep greeting those guests, engage those out-of-towners, have conversations with them and treat them wonderfully. And visitors, when you're coming to Emporia, treat our local community members like we know they're going to treat you. The golden rule, right? The second component of that is environment. And I think this one is not exactly new. This is kind of that leave no trace concept. Our open spaces, particularly our public parks here within the community and the Flint Hills outside of our community, are tremendous assets. And part of their allure is the beauty of those spaces, that they aren't full of litter and they're not trashed up. And so, but that does occur on a smaller scale, and we want to make sure that we are affirming that we're going to do our best to leave those spaces better than we found them. And the third piece is cultural responsibility, so that when our visitors come to town, they're going to respect the way of life here, the cultural aspects of our community, the people within the way of life. So I think about, as a cyclist myself, it's not all that uncommon to be out on the gravel roads and encounter a cattle drive, a rancher moving cows on the road from one pasture to another. And so if I were a visitor, yes, and the road is blocked from fence to fence, and the only option you have is to be respectful and say, this is the way of life of the people of this of this place, the stewards of this land, and I need to consider turning around and finding an alternative route. So that's just one example of respecting the way of life, or the languages that are spoken here, the beliefs that are believed here, and those types of things. So step one is just that, to affirm and acknowledge that we're going to be good stewards of this community, whether you live here or you're visiting here. But we didn't feel like that was enough. We felt like there needed to be a little bit more of a call to action. And so we are additionally, in addition to saying, please take the pledge with us, which, by the way, if you take the pledge, you get a digital badge that you can share on social media and not only show people that you've taken that pledge, but help us in spreading the word about this initiative. You can also come by our office and get a physical sticker. But you can take it a step further, and you can do one of two things. You can make a donation to this initiative, and funding would go to assisting in cleanup initiatives. We will physically organize cleanup efforts that go out into the Flint Hills and into our public parks and clean those spaces up, as well as the promotion and preservation of our cultural events and activities. So I think of things like Flint Hills Beef Fest or Dia de Muertos, things that are very integral. Veterans Day, this is the founding city of Veterans Day. So those monies would be used to enhance the experiences around those cultural events, preserve them so that they continue on, and promote them so that more people hear about them and hopefully choose to come be a part of that. And then the second call to action that people could do is volunteer. Physically turn out with us. Join us when we get those materials out there, and we're ready to accept volunteers for our cleanup initiatives later this spring and into the early summer. Come out with us. More hands make light work, right?
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So tell us, where can people go and sign the pledge to get that digital
Right.
badge.
Yeah.
And then also, because you have a different window clean there, tell us about that and how
Yeah.
businesses can get involved.
So this one is for our businesses. Anyone in town is eligible to come get one of these. So this is a pledge decal, and I don't know if you can read it there on the screen if you're watching, but I'll read it. It just talks about those three components: stay golden, leave no trace, respect the land and its people. Has a QR code that takes you where you go to actually take that pledge. So that is through our website, visitemporia.com/pledge, or you can just land on our homepage, visitemporia.com, and there's a button there on the homepage that says take the pledge. But it's all done through our website, and that's where you can not only take the pledge and get that badge that you can share, but you can also decide if you'd like to make a donation or contact us if you're interested in volunteer opportunities.
Wonderful. Members, if you would like a window clean, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to stop by and take it to you personally. You get to see me.
Another
Or
good
LeLan.
reason to,
That right? You're right, LeLan. That's
Yeah.
reason right there.
That's a
to-
reason
to call,
itself.
to
No.
reach out. I love that. I love the thought behind it, and what we're doing to help continue the tradition of our region and our area. It's so important in all the different aspects that you talked about. So thank you about that. Now you've started another initiative as well, the Community Arts Alliance. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I feel like I get in the habit of starting things, but in reality, this...
You think or you know?
I think I know. But most of what I attempt to do is listen to what people are telling me,
Yeah.
listen to what people are
You do.
wanting. And the Community Art Alliance was really a number of local artists coming to me and saying that they didn't feel like there was cohesion within the artist community, that they also didn't feel like there was a lot of public support for community art initiatives. And I wanted to try to assist in that. It's not to say that there aren't things going on in our community, but the consensus seemed to be that there wasn't a centralized vehicle for making public art happen. And I thought that given our position, what Visit Emporia stands for and what we do, I felt like we were a very appropriate organization to try to help be that center for our artist community.
Right.
So the step one was we need to get a group of people together that can help determine what those needs are and what those projects could look like. And so we have representation from a number of organizations, the Emporia Arts Center, Trox Gallery, Flint Hills Technical College, Emporia State University, private entities like ANA Hand Signwriting, and then of course just community artists who might not have their own company or organization but have a long-standing artist in the community. So we got together and obviously talked about a number of things, but we knew nothing would be possible without funding. And so one of the first asks back in 2022, last year, was to ask the city for an increase out of transient guest tax funding. We asked for $20,000 to be used explicitly for public art initiatives. And very thankful and fortunate that the City Commission agreed with that vision and saw that public arts do enhance the experience that people have in our community, and gave us that funding, that additional funding. And so fast forward 1 year later, just last month in February, we finally were at a point where we could review those project proposals and gave the green light to 5 different project proposals totaling nearly $30,000. So Visit Emporia contributed $20,000, and there are additional private donor fundings, grants that helped facilitate some of those projects. So, and mind you, last year, before we even got the funding, there were 2 significant public art projects, the Las Casitas mural and Earthly Delights, both came out of the efforts of this Art Alliance. And so before we even had the money, we were off and running and trying to make things happen. And then this year, you'll see the creation of 5 new public art projects. And the hope is, when I think about that over the next 5 years, if we can maintain 5 projects a year for 5 years, that's 25 public art installations over the next 5 years.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
And exciting.
Absolutely. Hey, so LeLan, rumor has it that you're trying to do a marketing campaign in Espanol.
Sí, en
Tell
español.
me about that, and why is it important for us to speak in Espanol?
Well, I think the why is not lost on most people. It only takes a little bit of reflection on the makeup of our community right here in Emporia to recognize that Emporia alone is greater than 30% Latino.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean that every person who identifies as Hispanic also speaks Spanish, but
No hablo, the no sabo kids.
yeah, but when you dive into those details, and again, I'm just going to use Emporia and Lyon County to start with, and then we'll talk about the state at large. But roughly 30% translates to around 7,000 residents in this area that identify as Hispanic, with more than 3,000 of those not being born in the United States. So they may speak English, but it's most definitely not their first language,
Right.
and not the language that they feel most comfortable and confident in. And what we know, I think what we all can agree upon, is that equitable language access is important for groups of people to feel connected to a community or connected to a space. The best way to do that is to communicate in the language that they understand best. And when we look at the state of Kansas, this isn't my opinion. Most of us know the stats, or you can easily find this. The growth in our community, the growth in our state is Latino and it's Spanish speaking. And so we've got a large demographic today, and a growing demographic that by and large hasn't felt communicated with and connected to spaces, especially from a tourism perspective.
Right.
And so that's where we come full circle to why is Visit Emporia investing in equitable language access? Because I want people to come to Emporia.
Yeah.
And right now, I think the state of Kansas is around 18 to 20% Latino. That's 1 in 5 people that we're really not communicating with and welcoming in and inviting into our space. And that's really important to us. And I have to give all the credit to who started as our intern, but now is more than that, our communications coordinator, or whatever title we've given him, but Eduardo Argueta has developed a multi-pronged, multifaceted Spanish language marketing campaign that is print, radio, and digital, and it's in Kansas City and Wichita.
Wow.
And so that's where we're starting.
Wow.
3 months of Spanish language campaigns in Kansas City and Wichita that basically says Vive Emporia, live Emporia, experience
How
Emporia.
Cool.
I'm excited about that. I really am excited to
Yeah.
watch the numbers and to see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing.
Awesome. Well, LeLan, thank you so much.
That's the team.
You know, Vive Emporia.
Vive Emporia.
That's the slogan, right? Rumor has it.
That's right.
Rumor has it that that's the slogan. See, I know the tea, guys. I know the tea. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Tea of the Chamber.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jeanine.
Do you have a sweet tip for us?
I do have a sweet tip. I'm going to actually let Kelly do the sweet tip today. Kelly?
Hi, this is Kelly with Visit Emporia. I have your sweet tip of the day. Today I'm going to show you how to submit an event to the community calendar. So you'll want to go to visitemporia.com, and then on the events tab, when you hover over that, go down a little bit to the left and click on submit an event. And then when the form comes up, the first thing it's going to ask for is the event title. Fill that in, and then below that is the event description. So type in your description, and then you will fill in the date of your event and the start and the end times, or it can be an all-day event, or it might be a recurring event if it's more than one day, and you can just fill that information in. Then you can actually upload an image right here where it says choose image. And next you go to the event status, scheduled, or there's a click down box. Well, you'll keep it at scheduled, and the venue then would be the place that the event is going to be held, and you can type that in. If it shows up, you can click on it. If you don't see it, then you can create your event venue. Then you go down to the organizer, so fill that in, whatever your business is or organization, and then you'll go to the fill in your website where your event is located, whether it's Facebook, your web page, and then the cost, which can be free or a dollar amount in there. And then you have to click on I am not a robot. And then all you have to do then is fill that, answer whatever questions they're asking there, and then just go to the submit event button, and your event will come into the Visit Emporia office, and we will get that scheduled on the community calendar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. LeLan, thank you for joining us today. We
My
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.